Well, welcome guys. Welcome once again to Marsego Empire. I'm so elated to be with you. I'm sorry for the little break we had. We're actually having a discussion in this regard before my landlord called me, and I have no option than to just abandon the discussion. So guys, please pardon me for that. I'm sorry. I think going forward, I need to maybe know better, right? Now, we're actually having a discussion on how to write letters of explanation or a letter of explanation or a statement of purpose for a Canadian study permit application. We are saying that it is a study permit application because the visa actually allows you, the visa that will be granted, the visa that will be stamped in your passport, that visa is a document, it's actually an official document from the Immigration Refugee of Canada, the IRCC, that gives you the opportunity. It's actually a traveling document that allows you to come to Canada. But that document does not give you the authority, it doesn't give you the guarantee to study in Canada. So they need to actually give you a study permit upon the arrival at Canada. So the airport that will be landing in any of the international airports in Canada, Canada has about 7 international airports. Any of the airports that will be landing in Canada, that airport is actually called the port of entry. That port of entry, the border officials, the immigration officials at that airport will be giving you a study permit. That study permit is a document that gives you the authorization, that gives you the opportunity to be able to study in Canada. That document also states that you are mandated as a student to work as you study. So it's a document that gives you authorization to study and gives you the authorization or the permission to work as well. So during your application, you need to apply for this. And in applying for this, one of the key documents that you need to attach to all the documents that we've mentioned in my previous video is a letter of explanation or statement of purpose. People also refer to it as what? A personal letter. Now, just like those of our brothers and sisters who go to US and they attend a visa interview, for Canada, you don't attend any visa interview. So indirectly, that interview you need to attend is what you are, the interview questions that you are likely to answer is what you are putting on paper. You get that? So that is what we are referring to as what? A letter of explanation. You are only explaining. You are explaining to be able to clear the doubt in the mind of the visa officer. For the visa officer to have a clear picture as to what exactly you're going to do in Canada. You get that? Good. The letter that you are writing should represent you because there are no two individuals that are the same. So the letter should represent you. Don't fake anything. Let the letter represent you. Let the letter represent your true persona. Let the letter reflect your personality. So it is not advisable for anybody to copy another person's letter. Don't copy anybody's letter. Write the letter that should reflect exactly who you are. Write a letter that will reflect your educational background, your family background, your future goals, your long or your short and your long-term goals. Let this letter reflect it. Those who intend to study in Australia, write the same letter. Those who actually going to study in Belgium, they write this letter in a form of an interview. It's a written question. So there are certain questions that will be answering indirectly in this letter. Those who are going to Belgium, they need questions are there. You need to write it as a written one. Let's get it started. So as is a letter of explanation, we need to have the inside address, personal address at the right corner of the paper. You can bring your name, your email, your post address, the date you are writing the letter. Then at the left hand corner of the paper where you need to have the inside address. So you need to address that letter to the embassy, depending on the country of your residence. So maybe the Canadian embassy. Have you seen the Canadian embassy? Or you can just say the visa officer. You can put it that way because you are addressing it to the person who is going to review your document. So it can be the visa officer, the Canadian embassy, Accra, Ghana. The visa officer, the Canadian embassy, Lagos, Nigeria, wherever you are, depending on wherever you are, then DSA or Madam, you know this. Then the title, the purpose for which you are writing the letter. I've already stated that it's supposed to be what? Letter of explanation for a Canadian study permit application. This should be in caps, well underlined. Now, the first thing you need to do after this is to give an introduction. The introduction should be a true reflection of you. It can contain your name, the job you are doing, your profession, and what you intend to achieve in Canada. So, the purpose for which you are going to study and how you're going to use that purpose, or how you are going to implement the purpose you intend to achieve in Canada in the future. So you can say, my name is Kofi Mensah, a professional teacher in Ghana who intends or who aspire or who desire to study in Canada to upgrade my academic, my professional, and the leadership skills to be able to help other stakeholders in Ghana to improve upon the standard of education. You can decide to frame your introduction in a nicer way to be able to arouse the interest of the visa officer, to show more interest in reading your letter, to show more interest in paying attention to your letter. Now, after the introduction, you need to include certain basic information about you. Information about where you live, information about your parents. So state the name of your father. State the name. You can include the profession of your father. Include the name of your mom, the profession of your mother. Then if you are married, you can talk about your wife, briefly about your wife, what she does. Talk briefly about your kids, the number of kids you have. You can actually include their date of birth in their letter. Then talk briefly about your family. I mean your siblings. If you have 3 siblings, you have 4 siblings, you can talk about that briefly and just make that to be nice and presentable. You get that? Then you do that. Don't bring unnecessary information talking about if your siblings are married. No, just write briefly about them because this is a serious letter. Don't forget, it's an official letter. So only relevant informations are actually needed. Now, after you are done doing this, then you need to move on to the next stage. So we are actually done with what? The introduction. Then the next thing that you need to do is what? You need to include in the letter your educational background. The person who is writing the letter, include something relating to your educational background. So you can talk about your highest qualification. You have, let me see who is watching. I know the educational background. Hey, I see you. Na. Thank you so much for watching me. Hey, Na, a good friend. She's actually watching from the UK. Now, so you can talk about your educational background. So you are somebody, for example, Na is a nurse. So you can talk about being a nurse. You have actually studied maybe nursing. You had a bachelor's in nursing from what? University of Ghana. Have you seen that? Maybe that may be your highest qualification. Then after that, maybe before studying your bachelor's in nursing, you have had a diploma course somewhere. Talk about the diploma course. You see, talk about the specific areas that you have studied. Now, then after that, you need to also talk about what you have been able to achieve in your profession. So if you are a nurse, you can talk about some of the positions that you have held, some of the achievements in that particular profession. If you are a teacher, you can also talk about the positions that you have held. You can talk about some of your achievements, some of the things that you've been able to do as a teacher during the course of your career. Talk about some of those things. So maybe you are a PTA secretary, you are a head teacher, you are assistant head teacher, you are in charge in a particular hospital, you are in charge in a particular facility. You can talk about those things. Then touch briefly on some of the roles that you have performed. The roles are key. All these things will give you point. All these things will have an indication in the mind of the visa officer that this person is actually a good product. This person is actually somebody who is coming to the country to contribute towards the development of our country. These are key. So talk about your achievement. You see that? Now, at this point, maybe if you are a teacher, you are a nurse who have maybe had a degree in Ghana. Maybe you have a 1-year degree, you have a 2-year degree, but you are coming to study another degree. Now, when you speak about your qualification, maybe saying that you've had a degree in Ghana, you are coming to do a degree here. So there should be something that you need to say to indicate that the degree that you have had in Ghana perhaps didn't place you properly. If you are a teacher in Ghana, maybe you have a 2-year degree in basic education, and you are coming to study another degree here. The visa officer will be thinking, how come you had a degree there, you are coming to study another degree? So you can tell the visa officer that the degree I have had in Ghana, it actually limits the level to which I can teach, the level at which I can teach. So based on that, I want to come and study another degree here. That will place me well. That will open the door for me to improve upon my knowledge, to actually help me to teach at the higher levels. So if you are teaching at the basic school, you intend to teach at the university, or you intend to be a lecturer at one of the universities in the future. You see? Now, so after you have spoken about some of the things that you have done, you need to say some of the things that you have done. I've mentioned about those roles. Now, yesterday, in mentioning the document, I've actually spoken about some of the things that you might have done. Maybe you were into a non-profit organization. You are working in an NGO. At this point, you can also bring it that you have worked in a particular NGO, and in that NGO, maybe you are in the health team, the education team, and talk about some of the things that you've been doing and how the roles that you used to perform, what those roles are actually doing to you to make you a better person. Speak about some of those things as well. See, you need to say things nicely. Present these things in a nice way. You need to check your spellings. You need to check your grammar. You need to check how you position your paragraphs. You see, now, after doing this, you need to move on to the next stage. You need to tell the visa officer why you are going to study that particular program. You see? So tell the visa officer why you are going to study that program. Why are you going to study maybe masters in education, masters in nursing, masters in engineering? You are going to study a certificate in something. You are going to study a diploma in something. Tell the visa officer why you have chosen that particular program. What skills are you going to acquire from the program? And how relevant are those skills to your professional career? How relevant those skills that you intend to achieve in that program going to help you to be able to achieve, or to be able to achieve your short and your long-term goals? These are big deals. You see? Now, you should also tell the visa officer why you intend to study that program in Canada, because such programs could also be studied in your home country. For example, you want to come and study a personal support worker program a certificate program in one of the colleges in Canada, tell the visa officer that a personal support program is not this in offered in any university or any nursing training in Ghana. Do we have a program like that? No. Based on what I know, there is no nursing training school. There are no maybe university in Ghana that offers that program. So tell the visa officer that you would have studied that program in Ghana if any of the nursing training schools actually offers it. But there are no nursing training institution in Ghana that offers that program. So it's a program that you want to come and study it over here. So how relevant is the skills that you want to acquire in this personal support worker? Tell them that in Ghana, there are so many aged people in our villages. There are so many old people in our towns and cities. And sometimes these people are unable to move from their homes to the hospital. But our health system doesn't have any policy, any program in place that actually helps or that gives the opportunity to nurses to go and treat these people. We don't have anything like that. So you want to study this program and go back to Ghana to actually maybe talk with health professionals, people who make decisions in the health sector, to ensure that they will give you the opportunity to train nurses who will be going to homes to take care of these people. You see, that is a big deal. Then you should talk about what you intend to do in the future. So you can say that after studying this program, you would like to go and work with the Ghana Health Service. After studying that particular program, you intend to go back to Ghana. If it's a educational leadership you intend to study, tell the visa officer that supervision in Ghana Education Service is so poor. There are no structures in place to ensure that everybody is working. So after studying masters in educational leadership, you want to go back and work with the Ghana Education Service or the Ministry of Education to ensure that supervision will be a top notch, to ensure that teachers will do the thing. There will be strategies, there will be policies in place to ensure that everybody is doing what he or she is paid to do. You get that? I'm telling you, these are the tricks that you need to adopt. Now, the next thing you should also include is that you are in Ghana, Nigeria, Togo, Benin, South Africa. Why do you want to come and study in Canada? Are you saying that the program you want to study is not offered in your country? They are. So this is where you need to tell the visa officer why you are coming to Canada. I've spoken about something today in that video. Get something and tell the visa officer, or find something unique. This is what people don't know. There are things that almost everybody will say, but it should be what? Your letter should be distinct. Your letter should be different, so that if the visa officer will be reviewing 4 applications, perhaps he has refused 3 already, yours will be distinct. Yours should be different from the previous one. One, you can talk about. One, there are certain unique things about Canada. Racism, minimal. You heard my landlord say there are 155 races in Canada. There are 155 countries all over. There are people from 155 countries all over the world who have actually relocated to Canada. So Canada is what? A diversified, culturally diversified country. Racism is minimal. So you want to study in a community where there are different races. There is a respect for individual rights. There are respect for individual races, so that you'll be able to have a peace of mind and study. That is one. What else about Canada? Can't we talk about the quality of their education? Their educational system is quality, accessible, and truly designed to solve problems in our society. See, that is it. The curriculum in Canada is designed to solve problems in society. Talk about that. It makes it good. Do you also see that? When we are talking about, don't say anything relating to work. Don't say anything that, oh, Canada gives opportunity to students to be working and be schooling. No. Don't say anything relating to that. Now, then after that, then you talk about the school. For example, in Ontario, there are 135 something schools. You see that there are so many schools here. So why are you choosing that particular school? So this is also something that you need to research. Research about the schools, get certain things, and use your mental faculty to be able to get some unique things that you may think that may be related to the school. One, especially in Africa, our classes are so large. But tell the visa officer that in that particular school, one unique thing that makes you choose that school is that the number of students in class, they are very low. Only few students are in a particular class. That gives you the opportunity to even interact with your lecturer. It gives you the opportunity to be able to learn a lot from your lecturer. If the number of students in a class are low, it means that the lecturer will have one-on-one with most of the students. What again? You can talk about the research skills that that particular college or university place much emphasis to. They do a lot of researches. Then what else? You can also talk about their curriculum. You see that? Now, you can also talk about, if it is your program, you can talk about maybe if it's health. You say that that particular school, in terms of their health faculty, is the best in Canada. You see, if you're able to put these things on paper, if you're able to put these things on paper, you are making your letter of explanation to be very tight, because these are the things that they'll be using to judge you. Then, after talking about why you have chosen the school, you have spoken about the research, the faculty, you have spoken about the curriculum, you have spoken about why you have chosen Canada, then you need to move on. You see, now, if you are somebody where we are talking about what you have done, if you have a business, you can talk about your business. Tell them that even though you are an employee of Ghana Health Service, employee of Ghana Education Service, you do something aside your professional work. You do something aside your regular work. That's something you are doing aside your regular work is what? You have a business. You sell. How do you use the savings or the profit from that business? The profit is what you are using to take care of your family. Perhaps your mom, your dad, your kids, or even to support yourself. You see, so they know that even though you are leaving your country to this place, there is a business that is running for you. Because everything that you are going to say, you need to prove it with document. You have your business certificate there that you are going to use to prove your business certificate has already been registered some years ago, some months ago. You say, wow. You have your bank statement of your business that you are going to use to prove that you've registered the business and you have actually opened a bank account and you are saving the monies from your business in this particular bank. Now, the next thing is, how are you coming to fund your tuition? Where will you be getting your living expenses from? Where will you be getting money to be doing a whole lot of things, to pay your rent, your TNT, and what have you? That is what we talk about, sponsorship. Now, if you are sponsoring yourself, you are self-sponsoring yourself, this is where you need to say it, that from the previous years I've been working, I've been saving towards my future educational endeavors. So I've been able to save about 500,000 Ghana cedis. And the 500,000 covers my tuition and living expenses for the 1 year duration I'll be staying in Canada. You can talk about that. You see, now if you are going to use a third party, maybe an uncle, an auntie who is giving you his or her bank statement, one, you need to state what he or she has been doing. Even if it's your mom, you need to say what your dad. We need to say what they have been doing. Talk about their profession. If she's a business person, say he or she is into maybe buying and selling of cars. He or she is into selling of building materials. He or she is into importation or exportation of rice, importation and exportation of vegetables or what have you. Then you need to prove that. Then he or she must give you his or her business registration, the tax clearance and all those things. So you say that he has a lot of cash inflow and outflow. So he or she has this amount of money in his bank account. Sometimes the people have a huge sum of money in their account, but you can decide to state a specific amount that he or she will be using to sponsor you annually. So in every year, the person will be giving you 600,000 Ghana cedis. That will cover your tuition and living expenses. So if that is it, then you also have an amount of money in your account that will be using to what? To support yourself. Then you can also talk about your business that will be running in Ghana. So sometimes if things are hard for you, you'll be falling on the proceeds from that business. You see that you are covering every angle. So the visa officer will not say that you do not have money. They will not say that I'm refusing your application because you don't have sufficient funds. No, the sufficient funds are there. You have sufficient funds. You see, you are blocking every loophole. Now, then after that, let's talk about your future goals. We've talking about things that you want to do, the skills that you want to achieve. After achieving that skills, you want to go back. Now, after talking about the sponsorship, you want to make a strong case now. Let's talk about some key things you like to do in the future. Tell the visa officer that after I've successfully graduated from University of so and so, from the College of so and so, I want to go back to Ghana. Say it, be emphatic. I want to go back to Ghana. I want to go back to Nigeria. And use the skills, the knowledge to work with Ministry of so and so to improve, if it's improving the standard of education, improving the standard of healthcare, improving the standard of health delivery in your country. And most importantly, talk about your family. If you are married and your kids, you want to go back to your kids so that you'll be there for them to provide the fatherly responsibilities. You want to go back to Ghana and continue to run your business. And based on the skills you're going to acquire here, the leadership skills will help you to be able to manage your business better, manage that organization better, and help your community to improve. You see that? Now, if you have land, don't just present the land document. Have a purpose for that land. Have a future goals for that land. If you are a nurse, you are coming to study a personal support worker. You can even talk about having an agency. Maybe that will be the first of its kind in Ghana. Having an agency in Ghana, and you're going to recruit nurses. These nurses will be people that you're going to train to be giving care, health care to people who are old in their homes, people who are in their 90s, people who are in their 80s. In their homes, they'll be taking care of these people. If you are a teacher, you can talk about setting up a private school. You want to set up a private school. You know, Canada, US, Germany, UK, they were doing this standardized based curriculum so many years ago before Ghana is trying to learn from them. So if you are coming to study here, it means that you will be on top of this standardized based curriculum. So you want to learn here, go back to Ghana and implement that. See, our educational system is poor in Ghana. We are a developing country. So if you are coming to have a first-hand this experience in terms of this standardized based curriculum, want to go back to Ghana, implement that, help other stakeholders to implement that, to work with the Ministry of Education to implement that, to work. See, agriculture is a big deal. Mining is a big deal here. Education, big deal. Health, big deal. constructional sector, big deal. So you want to acquire these skills here. You say something relating to that land. Don't just present that land document. Even if you are coming to read a course relating to finance, accounting, you can set up accounting firm. Coming to read a course relating to health, you can set up this in a law firm in Ghana. A law firm in what? International relations. Law firm for human rights. See, then you employ these young lawyers in your firm. See, the visa officer has no business to refuse your visa. They know that you have future goals. You are telling them what you want to do. You are telling them what you want to do. How would they refuse you? How? Nobody will refuse you. Your family ties is already sorted. Your financial area is sorted. Your future goals are sorted. Which one? And you have a clear future path. So they will not say that your letter is not consistent with what you want to do. No, you are blocking all this. So this is a watertight letter. This is a watertight statement of purpose. Guys, see, they will approve your visa. It will surprise you. Approve this thing. You see, then finally, tell the visa officer that. Tell him, you are a law-abiding student. You are a law-abiding person. So all the rules and regulations that will have something to do with the study permit that will be issued to you, you abide by it. So if they say you should work for 20 hours, you're going to work for 20 hours. 30 hours, you do it. Full time, you do it. End this letter. Sign. Write your name. Then say that, please find attached the following documents for your perusal. Please find attached the following documents for your perusal. All the documents that you are going to attach to the application that you're going to do, state them one after the other. If there are 100 documents, state them. So that once he or she finish reading, we'll go through all, you can number them, tabulate them one after the other, write all of them. Certificates, bank statement of your sponsor, ID card of your parents, ID card of your wife, your marriage certificate, birth certificate of your kids, your appointment letter, assumption of duty letter, and all these things there. See, then they know that you are an organized person. You are organized. You know exactly what you're doing. This is not somebody who is just trying. No. So you need to waste time. You need to invest a lot of time in this letter. Don't just rush to write anything. See, you can write. After writing it, just take a walk. Walk and go to some area. Whilst you are coming back, be thinking through your mind. Surely something will come. Come and put it on paper. Write this thing very well. Check your grammar, your spellings, and everything. Check it. There is this keyboard, Grammarly. After writing this letter, put it in the Grammarly to correct the punctuations, the spellings, the grammatical errors, and everything, to correct everything. Back for you. Then you know that you are sorted. If there is anybody whom you think that has an upper hand over both the written and the spoken language, give it to him or her to edit it for you. You see that, guys? This is very, very, very important. Everybody needs to actually do that. Now, I want to, before we end, there are certain questions that I want to give you. Please make sure that your letter contains this question. Number 1, is your program not studied in your home country? We've spoken about that. So you need to find something to talk to convince the person. Number 2, why do you want to school outside your home country? Or why do you want to study in Canada but not your home country? So say something relating to that. So why do you want to study that particular program in Canada You need to speak about that. Why you have chosen that particular school, that particular university, that particular college. You need to speak about that. Then you also need to speak about how your program, that program you are coming to study, how that program will benefit your home country. If it's Ghana, so see, if it's Ghana, our education 0 over 10,000, because the quality of our education is in doubt. So tell them your program will do something. Don't just say something. Say that particular thing the program will do. Improving, restructuring. Say something. How your program will benefit your home country is very important. Then you should also talk about what is the proof that you return to your home country. I've spoken about that. That returning to your home country is a big deal. On paper, you must go back to your home country. But once you land in Canada, there are clear paths for you to use to be able to stay, get your permanent residency, and become a citizen. On paper, you must say that you will be returning to your home country. That is a big deal. You see that? Then, what your plans after studies? I've spoken about that. Your plans after studies. See, these are big deals. These are some of the marking scheme they are going to use to judge your letter of explanation. These are just some. So they will tell you do not have how will I say a home tie. You do not have a family tie, so they don't think that when you come to Canada, you go back to your home. So you speak. So you see that I've spoken about what your family, giving a background of your family, your wife, your kids, your mom, your dad, your siblings, what they are doing. And sometimes we are so bossy to go and say that we are the breadwinner of our family. So if you the breadwinner, you are winning the bread for the family, you want to come here. So who will not be the breadwinner there? These are certain things that you should not say. In my family, I'm the only person who has attended university. In my family, I'm the only person. So you want to run away and come here. These are some of the things that you should be very mindful of, guys. Let me see if there are. Hey, Ketsin. Hey, I'm seeing some nice people here. Okay, people are asking some questions. Hey, Awizi. Hey, Awizi. Hey, Awizi. This, I be my senior back in college. Awizi. I hope you're good. I'm sure you are my senior. You were. Yeah, my Akachiko. Won't it be good when you apply simply? Won't it be good when you apply simply and add your CV to it instead of Awizi, I can't get you. Hey, Awizi, if based on your question, I'm telling you that your education, what you have acquired, your various education that you have acquired, state it and tell the visa officer what you've been able to achieve. You are proving your wealth to the visa officer. You are proving to the visa officer that the program you are coming to study here is actually important. You are clearing the doubt in the mind of the visa officer. So, do I care about you, Awizi, if you've given me your CV that you have a master's in education or you have a bachelor's in education? Then you've spoken about your experiences. You are a teacher. You are a head teacher. You are a head of department. So what? Awizi, if you are head of department, so what? What does that got to do with me? Tell the visa officer that you are a head of department for mathematics in Amfuega Senior High School. So, tell him or her that you've realized something. As a head of department, you've realized that the physics department lacks certain skills. And those skills are missing in the educational system in Ghana. So that is why you intend to come and study perhaps another degree, another bachelor's degree in physics at the University of Toronto. You realize that University of Toronto has these skills. These are some of their key thematic areas in the physics department. So you want to acquire those skills, go back to Ghana and help other teachers who might have gotten these skills to be able to improve the standard of the teaching and learning of physics in our senior high schools. So if you are giving your CV to the visa officer to do what? The CV will not really explain some of these things I'm talking about. You see, for example, me, I was born in a typical village. Those of you who see my pictures on the page, I guess most of you saw where I was born. That is a cottage, scattered settlement. And I had foundation in that particular village. I've spoken about people who are helping me to accomplish that. So do you know what I would have said if I'm presenting my letter? I'll tell the visa officer that I attended school in a village. So how are you going to say that in your CV? Will you say that you attended school in a village? Mr. Awizi or Mr. Apeke? No. So you've attended school in a village, and in that village there are only 2 teachers who taught you when you were you were at a basic school. So you realize that you were not able to discover your full potential. So I want to come to Canada, study, better myself. I have an NGO in that community. So to study, get the best of my knowledge, go back to that community, go and teach the kids to be able to discover their full potential, so that the kids from that community will become better person, so that those kids together with you will help that community to develop. You see that I have an NGO in that village. What will the NGO do? The NGO will help in what? Giving learning materials to the people. You give learning materials. We'll be conducting tests. We are going to empower teachers in that community. We'll give them teacher support so that they do extra work. So whilst we are providing learning materials, teachers are also doing extra work. What will that achieve? Kids will be able to discover their potentials. If you give your CV to the visa officer and the CV state that you work with a particular NGO, how would the visa officer knows that the NGO you are working with, this is the purpose you want to achieve? I don't know, Mr. Peck, I don't know the question, because the question seems to be too open. So if you can narrow it, I will be very grateful. You see, the CV will not really do anything. Explain. That's why it's called letter. I prefer to refer to it as letter of explanation. You are explaining. You are convincing. See, there are things the visa officer wants to hear. So tell him those things. If you are proposing to a lady, you may be proposing to a lady, the lady may not be agreeing, the lady may not be accepting your proposal, because you are not telling the lady what exactly she wants to hear. Once you begin to tell her those things she wants to hear, she will fall in love with you. If you are a lady, you are asking a guy money, the guy is not giving you the money because you are not telling the guy what he wants to hear. Tell the guy exactly what he wants to hear. If you are asking your mom money, your mom will not give it to you because you are not telling your mom what you want to use the money for. Tell her. So the visa officer wants to know why you are coming to Canada. Take coming to work aside. You see, work should not appear in your letter, but convince him. Don't be desperate, but make him to know that there is something so valuable you want to accomplish in Canada. This thing will convince him. See, it will convince him. And there are some of us who would like to add transcripts. For me, I'll tell you not to include your transcript, especially if your grades are not good. Maybe you are somebody who has a first class, then you want to come and study a master's program. You may. It shows that, oh, this guy is a good material. But you are somebody like me, you've had a third class, you've had a second class lower, you had a pass. Why would you include your transcript? Don't do that. Don't include it. it will give a negative impression about you. Don't really say any bad thing about your academic performance. If you are going to say something, then it means that you have a backup. You have something better to say to cover it up. Guys, you get that? This is key. Don't forget, list the various documents you're going to put there. I'm seeing Mark Danielson. Charlie, I appreciate you. Today is the first time I'm seeing you, but God bless you. Then, I don't know if it's Casing, Charlie, Kwame Ko, I'm grateful, Charlie. Mr. Apeke, Charlie, thank you. Isabella, I see you, my good friend. Isabella, I see you. I see you, Isabella. Yeah, you okay? Thanks so much. You know, I'm grateful. So, guys, that is that. Drop your questions under the comment section. I'll surely answer them. Then we'll see. Don't copy anybody's letter. Let your letter reflect who you are. Let your letter speak volume about you. Let your letter speak about your future goals. Let it speak about your short-term goals. Let your letter speak about the skills, the things that you want to learn while you are choosing Canada, while you choosing that school. Let your letter speak about your desire to return to your home country. Guys, God bless you. I'm grateful. Enjoy the rest of your evening. See you another day. You are gold in the dust. There are so many people who receive admission to study in Canada, but only few whose visa applications are approved. You are among the few. Even if they are refusing 10,000 people, if they want to approve only 2 people, you are among the 2 they will approve. If all these strategies I've given you is something that you hold on to, it is something that you have actually stated in your listening, and you make your letter to be unique. Let your letter speak volume about you. I have no doubt on my mind that, Charlie, you'll be among it. God bless you. Enjoy your evening.